Srimad Bhagavatam. Now we had completed Canto 1, chapter 18, up to verse 47, where the Rishi Muni, around whose neck King Parikshit had put this snake, the dead snake. Naturally, his son has given him a curse, saying that you will die within 7 days. And this curse was for a very frivolous act. The dead snake was anyway not going to do anything. But he was an upstart. So naturally his father, when he comes to know that he has cursed King Parikshit, who was a very benevolent king, it becomes a very big problem for the king as well as what's going to come about. So the Rishi Muni in turn asks for pardon from Sri Krishna and says, please kindly forgive my son and forgive, King Parikshit also kindly try to remove that curse from him if it is possible. But as you know, once the curse it's like an arrow. Once the curse has gone out, you can't do anything except make the effect lesser. That's the only thing that can be possible. So we had completed till verse 47. So today we are going to do the verse 48 onward. There are 2-3 verses only left now. So we will start with verse 48. We are doing Canto 1, chapter 18, verse 48 from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Parikshit cursed by a Brahman boy. The devotee of the Lord are so forbearing that even though they are defamed, cheated, cursed, disturbed, neglected, or even killed, they are never inclined to avenge themselves. Now please remember one thing, a normal human being is given to cursing, is given to take revenge, wants to get even with the world. If somebody does something to them, an average human being is always used to getting the thing settled. But as you know, in this material world, nothing can get settled. If somebody is trying to kill you, you are not supposed to kill that other person. See, it is something which is called a revenge or some kind of a drastic act. The sages and the saints, that is the devotee of the Lord, the gurus, the sadgurus, they are not like that. They are never interested in anything like that. If somebody says bad about them, let's say for example, somebody says bad about a guru and says that he is a robber, he is a thief, he takes money, he is a rapist, he is a murderer, he is this, he is that. So many bad words are given. Now the gurus, they are the devotees of Sri Krishna, they actually are not even interested in giving back to that person or saying anything. They never want to prove anything. See, a normal person, if they are caught stealing also, they will want to prove to the world that they were not stealing. Or the justification is given by normal people. See, please understand, those who are sages and saints are not supposed to justify. They are not supposed to say any words. If they are put in jail, see what is being written over here. They are defamed, cheated, cursed, disturbed, neglected, or even killed. When all these things are happening to a great sage or a saint, this person will never want to react or do anything. This is the law. You will find that in India, there are lots of good saints, very, very good saints. They are killed by people. They are tortured. I can talk about a saint who has been in jail for the last 14 years or 15 years for an action which he has actually not done. The heinous act was performed by somebody else, but he has never said a single word on that. Likewise, there are saints who are put into very, very dire straits. That means they are literally treated like dirt. The whole world will come and spit on them, they will say bad words about them, they will deride them, they will keep on, doing torturous acts, and they can really put them through hell. They will be cursed by others. The curses are like, everybody gives curses. But these sages and saints, they are never inclined to avenge themselves. They will never even raise their fingers. They can see the person who is the perpetrator is a wrong person. They can actually know that. And because they are divine themselves, you think they don't know what the other person is up to? You see, they are very clear in their understanding and knowledge. They can see the other person is trying to kill them, other person is trying to do something to them, the other person is trying to say bad words about them, they're cheating them, they are calling them names. These people are willing to do anything. And to what level? To a very, very extreme level. Today, you will find that Ramakrishna Paramahansa is such a great person. He is the saint of the highest order. Shirdi Sai Baba is also one of the greatest saints of all times. My family has been associated with Sai Baba of Shirdi. I know what I am talking about because my forefathers were involved with them. So it's a first-hand story. It is not some nonsensical stuff. But the whole world looks at him and calls him names. These people are divisive in nature. They will say whatever that comes to their mind. I personally will visit every Sufi shrine wherever I go. Whether it is Ajmer, whether it is Shirdi, or whether it is any place. Even in Delhi, Hazrat Nizamuddin, I have personally visited. These are holy people. Human beings, below average human beings, will call them by names. They will say that this person is like this and that person is like that. My own Gurudev, his temple in Girnar and another place here in Karnataka, Baba Budangiri, the temple priest, you can't even call it a temple because the temple priest is a Muslim. They do the puja parts over there. See, please remember one thing. People in this world will say all kinds of bad things about them. They are devotees of God. Alright? And because they are devotees of God, average and below average people who have absolutely no understanding about spirituality will say all the dirty and the bad things about them. But these people will never take revenge or avenge, or they won't even say a bad word from their mouth. They will not say to them, you should rot in hell, you should be tortured, you should be killed, These words are not uttered by these great people. One thing which I will tell you, they will not do anything. But Sri Krishna's universe is never going to forgive these people. They don't have to lift their finger. The universe around them, which is called the Prakriti, the Maya which is there, it is going to play havoc in those other people's lives. People have this dirty habit of talking whatever they feel like. They will utter words from their mouth. They will say, curse. They will say disturbing things. It really doesn't matter. In my last 25 years of my life, I have been called names by literally everybody. In the last 2 months, I have been told what kind of a person I am, that I am ripping off people and I am taking money from them. I mean, that is not something which I would do. Why would I want to do anything like that? But they are allowed to say because they are uncouth people. First, they don't have the guts to talk to me directly. They will call up Rajma and they will say a lot of dirty words. But what they don't understand is even a single bad word or something bad uttered, even if the defaming of the sage or the saint or the guru happens, it is detrimental to their lives. Their entire life is at stake. Anything, because Maya can be very, very unforgiving. Maya can take them to the cleaners. And that is an extremely dangerous thing. So these gurus, the sages, the saints, the devotees of the Lord, they don't say a single word. They will never want to take revenge. Alright? So, here the sage was talking about this. The sage thus regretted the sin committed by his own son. He did not take the insult paid by the king very seriously. What was his insult? Putting that snake around the neck. A sage will never even bother about this kind of misdemeanors. The problem is this world is used to saying bad words. They are gossip mongers. They say whatever that comes to their mind. They are loose-tongued people. They don't have spirituality. They may be going to hundreds of temples. They are never going to find God. But they are used to this kind of a language and so they will speak. The spiritually perfect people do not even want to talk about them. It's not important. It's really not important. So, the sage says, he regretted that his son had done this kind of a thing. He should not have cursed King Parikshit. But then what is to be done? Generally, the spiritualists, even though engaged by others in the dualities in the material world, are not distressed, nor do they take pleasure in worldly things, for they are spiritually engaged. See, think about it. The spiritual people, the devotees of the Lord, the sages, the saints, the masters, the gurus, they are always lost in their self. They can see the world, everything going on in their life, not that they can't see. They can see. And yet they are not even going to be bothered because they are lost in the self. A great sage like Ramana Maharshi, when there was a political storm going, there was a court case in the Supreme Court of India. When that was going on, he was not even bothered. There is a hill in Tirunamalai, okay, which is supposed to be a holy hill because it is nothing else but Shiva himself. And the government wanted to take it, and the committee over there were fighting it. They are saying this whole temple is the mountain is the temple. Finally, the Supreme Court judge said, let us go and ask Ramana Maharshi. And Ramana gave the verdict and he said, no, this mountain is God himself, Shiva himself. You know the story of Brahmaji and you know that story. So that is why. There is another story which I should clarify to you today. Many, many years ago, thousands of years ago, Sri Krishna, Radharani and all the gopis were staying in a place called Vrindavan. Then there was Mathura. Now the Vrindavan area is a Brajbhumi. During the Mughal period, the whole thing went to ruins. the villages were destroyed. There was nothing lying over there. Krishna takes birth in a village in Bengal. He is called Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Later on, he went to this place and identified the locations. It is only God himself who can say what these places are, isn't it? An ordinary person can't say. So he went and he identified. Then that place got the significance. Today, the entire Braj Bhumi over there is a very revered place. But 400 years ago, there were ruins. There was nothing there, only grass and dirt. Today, it is a very throbbing place. So these sages and saints come over there for a certain reason. To establish the divinity in the place. That is their job. See, understand one thing. There is a need for it to get established. And there is a need for destruction. The destruction is one side and the establishment is another side. Many years ago, I visited a place in Nepal. These people over there had converted almost all the places into liquor joints and beer bars. The foreigners were going over there, sitting in the temple corridor with tables and chairs and drinking beer. I was very upset. I told Rajma, this is not somewhat you should be doing. I returned back. The next day, the next year, there was a massive earthquake and all these places were destroyed. Today they are searching for these places. They are trying to rebuild it. The heritage, United Nations and the other agencies are trying to put it up together. But that is not a done thing. In Tamil Nadu, we went to one village. There was nobody in the temple. None whatsoever. The temple was just empty. We were walking through all the places. We could enter any place. And I told Rajma very clearly, I said, this place is going to become a very, very predominant place. Don't bother your head about it. Today the place is bursting with activities. You can't even enter the temple today. There are barricades put everywhere. See, please remember one thing. The job of these people is to establish or destroy certain things. And that is the reason why, because they are constantly lost in their divine self. They are not interested in anything. You cannot even entice them with whatever that you want in this world, because they are least bothered. And to curse such a person, or to say bad words to such a person, or utter loose kind of words, or try to kill them, or try to do some bad heinous acts against them, they will not do anything. But the universe will do its magic. So we have come to the end of this chapter. Canto 1, chapter 18, verse 50. So now we will start the new chapter. We are doing Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 19, the appearance of Sukadeva Goswami. Verse 1. Sutta Goswami said, while returning home, the king, King Parikshit, felt that the act he had committed against the faultless and the powerful Brahmana was heinous and uncivilized. Consequently, he was distressed. See, regrets come to a person who utter bad word against the sages or saints. A few years ago, a person came over here, lived with us, and then he left from here. saying a lot of bad things. He has also written a book. And he said so many bad words. Listening to him, another friend whom he had never met me in life, he started bad mouthing. And he started telling the world about all the dirty things and the bad things possible. Now, all this was happening in the background. I was least bothered about it. A month later, a person calls me up and says, "Isn't it you who did those things?" I said, "What are you talking about?" Oh, this person had gone and booked a big bike by paying more than 2.5 lakh rupees somewhere, and he went to take the delivery. The person who had bad mouthed, went to take the delivery of this very big shop that was there of this company, and overnight that person had run away with the money. There was no shop there the next day. There was nobody there. He has no idea where his money is gone. So this person who called me, he said, "You must have done this." I said, "Why should I be bothered about this idiot? Somebody wants to badmouth me, that is their problem, not mine. If somebody says something, what is it to me? They are allowed to say whatever they feel like because they are ignorant people. Ignorant people can speak whatever." I was talking to a few saints, and one saint asked me this question. He said these words, this person, this great sage, he is in jail. What do you think about him? I said, "You know very well and I know very well. He has not performed that act. But he is willing to spend 20 years in jail. The crooks will come out 10 times from the jail every 10 times in 1 year. They will get, parole. But the good people will never get. It's okay. They don't care. They can be lost in the self anywhere. But now let us turn towards the person who is the perpetrator and who has said bad things. The person who is the perpetrator or who has done the bad things starts seeing the impact on himself. The impact is so severe that not only are they going to get, sickly, they might lose the money, they might be treated very badly in this world, or they can be thrown out, or their whole life can be ruined. In case of Parikshit, you know what was the condition. He was cursed to 7 days later to die. So he was regretting his actions. He may be a holy person. He may be a divine person, no doubt about it. But the act he had committed against the faultless and the powerful Brahmana was heinous and uncivilized. Please understand, if you are in a position of, authority, if you are a king, you are a minister, you are a prime minister, you are a president, or you are a CEO of a company, or somebody great in this world, you have to behave like that. You cannot behave like a roadside person. You cannot utter anything, bad words or any foul mouth language can be uttered by you. Never ever do that. So if you are in a position of authority, you should never speak ill, you should never say bad words, you should always be very gentle and kind, compassionate and loving. There are people in this world who may be a very great, leaders of a country. But if they have a loose tongue, if they speak nonsensical words and language which is not correct for them to speak, they will be suffering terribly. And this is a regret which King Parikshit had, that he should not have done the act which befits a king. He was a benevolent king. Just in anger, this person had done something wrong. Please understand. You can't be angry. You cannot be upset. You cannot say whatever that comes to your mind. There were some great leaders in India in the past. They were not vicious. They were very kind people. And some leaders are born very uncouth. Every day they will utter, revengeful statements. I will show you, I can do this to you, I can kill you. Whatever statements that they are making, it's not befitting a leader. Leader is always supposed to be having a very good tongue. He should be speaking very refined language. He cannot be standing outside his golf course and saying whatever that comes to his mind. What are you talking about? See, as a king or as a ruler, your job is to be very, very silent. You do your job befitting that word. Never give undue statements, because you don't know what is going to come and bite you. In case of Parikshit, it is the snake bird which is going to come and kill him. And that is why he was very distressed. King Parikshit thought, due to my neglecting the injunctions of Sri Krishna, I must certainly expect some difficulty to overcome me in the near future. I now desire without reservation that the calamity comes now, for in that way I may be freed of the sinful action and not commit such an offense again. When you do something wrong, you don't know when the blackbird is coming, isn't it? The repercussions which are going to come because of nature, because of Maya, person will never know when it is going to come and bite you. This idea that this kind of action which they have done, they have said some bad words, they have done some heinous acts against a sage or a saint or a very great devotee of the Lord, those people have to be ready for the repercussions which they are going to face. And when these repercussions are coming, can never be known. And that is the reason why they will be afraid. I am sure you have heard of stories from the past where when kings and great people had said something bad about the holy people, the repercussions came to them very deadly. And that can never be understood when it is going to come and bite them. If you ask the holy person, when is it going to happen or what is going to happen? This holy person, this devotee of the Lord, this guru, this great master will never ever acknowledge it. He will say, I have no idea. I have not said anything bad against that person. I don't want revenge. I won't even do anything. I won't even lift my finger. This is the word they will utter. Why? It is not their job to do. The universe works around them. They are in a shell. The universe is going to work with them and the universe takes care of it. They don't have to lift a finger. So, whoever is the perpetrator better be afraid. When these repercussions are going to come, in their most delicate moments, it's going to come. Do you understand? Their vulnerability, when they are highly vulnerable, that time these repercussions happen. And that is the reason why they better be afraid. So here King Parikshit is saying, I wish to God, whatever bad that I have done, let me get that thing right away just now. I don't want to die further. I don't want to suffer for many years. Can I get that impact right away? King Parikshit is very close to the divine. You know that he was the person who was saved by Sri Krishna in the womb. It's a very known, well-known story. I don't have to repeat it. So his contention was, can I face that music just now? I don't want to face it after some time. Can this whole thing be over in this life itself? And that is what he prays to the Lord. So verse 3, I am uncivilized and sinful due to my neglect of Brahminical culture, God consciousness and cow protection. Therefore I wish that my kingdom, strength and riches burn up immediately by the fire of the Brahmana's wrath, so that in the future I may not be guided by such inauspicious attitudes. He is being very, very regretful and he is asking for forgiveness. He is saying, can God just take away this kingdom of mine? Let my whole life go to ruin, it does not matter, please, but let us get on with it and let it finish off. This finishing off act is very, very important. When somebody does this kind of a mischievous acts, or when they do this kind of a bad deeds, the repercussions are very, very dangerous. Like I said, it doesn't happen on day one. It may take its own sweet time in fructification. When the time is right, it will fructify. So here the reason why he is saying is that I am uncivilized. God, please forgive me. I behave like a very average human being. Please forgive me. I should not have said these words. I should not have done these actions. Remember, he has gone in front of this sage and he has said bad words also. And he has also done this action of putting the snake, the dead snake around him. It is not expected. In anger, a person should not do any of these actions. First and foremost, their job is to shut their mouth. Do not allow your mind to talk. And especially don't perform an action which you will regret later. Because the repercussions are always 10x. Please understand this. The repercussions are very bad. And that is the reason why he says, I have done this neglectful act which is against the sages. See, there are certain things which are prescribed in our scriptures which a person should not do. One is you should never kill a Brahmana. Brahmana means a knower of Brahma. Brahmana is not that caste Brahmins. Brahma Jnani, those who are Brahma Jnani, the sages, the saints, the masters. Person should never do anything bad to them, should never kill them, should never utter anything. Second, they should not go and do anything to their wife. You understand? Third is that God consciousness, and fourth is the cow protection. So these are the four actions which are prohibited. These are the highest sins. Person should never perform them. Therefore he says, please take away my kingdom my strength and my riches also. God, please help me. Take away my kingdom. Take my strength. Take my riches. Burn up immediately this fire. This Brahmana's wrath, the wrath of the Brahmin's son, I hope you remember it. So that my future, his further generation should not get affected. See, this is one more thing which people don't realize. When you go against the sages and saints, the repercussions need not be only to that one person. It can be to the entire family, the lineage. I'm sure you remember, Sri Krishna's entire family was destroyed. Right? So you have to be careful how you talk to these sages and saints. First, don't utter bad words. I have always given the story of this professor. She was the principal of a college. See, when she was a principal of a college, every time she would say, my guru, my guru, my guru, and be very nice in the beginning. When the guru said, I am building a temple, I need 26 lakh rupees. The moment he said these words, this woman went against him completely. Oh, he just wants my money. He just wants my money. It's a temple. If your money is getting used in building a temple, do you think this fellow is eating your money or what? He was a Muslim saint, by the way. Please remember this. This person was a Muslim saint. But he was building a Hindu temple. This is something you should know. In a village very close to Karnataka border. Now this is something, the moment she said these words, I said, just now you bought crores of rupees worth of a house in Nandi Hills. How can you be such a person? That day I didn't even take a, glass of water. I never took the tea. I never even touched the water. And I told Rajma, I want to get out of this place immediately. I don't even want to give this woman a grace. I went away. The next year, she was declared with 4th stage of cancer and she died a miserable death. Her whole family was destroyed. Yeah, he was making Dattatraya's temple. The whole family is destroyed. The husband is lost somewhere. The daughters are somewhere. The house which they had bought. There are some 2-3 houses here in Bangalore. They are just lying like that. What is the point of cursing somebody or saying some bad words? If somebody is asking you money to build a temple, don't utter bad words against that person. Even the guru of Shivaji Maharaj, Shivaji Maharaj's guru, Samartha Ramdas. At every place he went and built one temple, of Hanumanji. In South India they call him Anjaneya. Every place, I think he built some 30-40 temples. Everywhere he went and said, please give me money to build this temple. People donated a lot of money. That's how he built the temple. Temples have to be built with donation money only. Yeah, there may be some rich people. Like this Bhutti Maharaj, Bhutti from Nagpur. He built that Sai Baba's temple. No doubt about it. At the beginning. But today it is run by Sansthan and it is always run by donations and charity. So, if the person was asking for money for building this temple, he was short of 26 lakhs at that time. What is the bad thing that he has done? He's not eating the money. And these were the bad words which the lady had, said. And then she started bad-mouthing. You can't bad-mouth a person. The repercussions are not only on that person, but the entire family. And that is the reason why you better be afraid. Because the universe will never forgive. The universe doesn't require people to go and do something to them. No. The universe itself is powerful. It is capable of taking whatever it has to. And that is the reason why King Parikshit knew exactly what was going to happen to him. While the king was thus repenting, he received a news of the imminent death, which would be due to the bite of a snake bird, occasioned by the curse spoken by the sage's son. The king accepted this as a good news, for it would be the cause of indifference towards worldly things. Now, only the great people understand death is the most beautiful thing in the world. You see, when you are nearing death, people are afraid of death. An average human being is always afraid of death. He wants to give money and he wants to, have you not seen in all these Instagram and Twitter and every other place, people saying, oh, I want to remain young forever. On the contrary, sages and saints and great people, they know death is acceptable to them. You know the reason why? Because they can reach the heaven faster. Instead of suffering in this material world, every time when a person comes to me and says, my mother is sick, my father is sick, let them live for a few more years. I look at these people, miserable people, and say, what are you talking about? It is not a problem. You can give them another 10, 20 years of life. Imagine an 85-year-old or a 75-year-old getting another 10 years rebate in his life. Already they are in a miserable condition. They can't walk, they can't do things in their life, and you are asking for another 10 more years or 20 years? Never ask for these kind of things, because it is dangerous. And that is the reason why sages, saints, great people, they accept death. In case of Jesus Christ, or in case of, in case of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he died very early. Every person. See, please understand this. These great people, they prefer death, not long life. Shankaracharya, he had 16 years. He was given 16 years, granted. And Shivji himself grants him another 16 more years. 32 years is all you will be on this planet Earth. That's it. He accepts it, and then he passes away at the age of 32. Jesus Christ passed away at the age of 32. Great people only want to live that much amount of years. The reason is very simple. The more they live, the more they suffer. Okay, one more caveat I will tell you. You may think that these people don't know the act of living for long. No. You are mistaken. They know the techniques of Kaya Kalp and the techniques which can make them live forever also. You may be surprised to know Tailanga Swami lived for 350 years. The person called Totapuri, he was more than 250 years old. People don't know much about this. They can live for as many years as they want. But they have certain jobs. That is what they are supposed to do. So they will do their jobs and then go away. So in a similar manner, King Parikshit welcomes his death. He comes to know that the sage's son has said that a black bird is going to come and bite him and he will be dead in 7 days. And the king accepted this as a good news. He didn't say it is a bad news. On the contrary, he says, good, I am getting my punishment right away, which is some of the greatest things. You should always get your punishment immediately. If it is going to come in your next life, means finished. The karmic debt which comes can come in your next, God knows, 10,000 lives year later. No, one should not do that. But if that is coming, He says it's a good news, for it would be the cause of indifference towards worldly things. That will make me indifferent towards these worldly things. And that is the reason why I think this is one of the best things that has ever happened to me. So we have come to the end of verse 4. We will stop over here for today.
Recording stopped.